Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. This is Caitlin, of course, my trusty handy helper and a terrific cleaner-upper. And today we're going to make broccoli casserole. And I thought of this dish because, of course, Christmas is just around the corner. And this is something you could easily take to a potluck or serve, as a side dish with any meal, really. But on the other hand, if you wanted to make this a main course, you could easily add some already cooked, maybe leftover chicken or turkey, and then put it in the oven and maybe then serve it. Oven's up to temperature.
Oh, okay.
It's just the oven. And then serve it like with a salad or something on the side. And Bob's your uncle, there's your supper. So that's what we're doing. So this is a 7 by 11 pan, as close to that size as you can. Could be a 9 by 13. But then your casserole would be a little shorter. Makes no difference. It's all good. The recipe calls for 2 packages, or the square packages of chopped broccoli. But what I have is a bag. Oh, you're right, Barry. That is full of water. Can I have oh, they're right behind me. I have a bag of broccoli, frozen, that I cooked in the microwave. And when it cools off, I'm going to chop it because it calls for chopped broccoli. When you buy the little boxes, the little packages, a lot of times they're full of the stock and maybe not quite as nice as we want it to be. So once this cools off, I've already cut a hole in the top, and once it cools off, we'll chop that up. So I'm just going to lay that aside for a second, and then we're going to turn this over. It's just water. It's not going to hurt anything. So we're going to chop an onion, and while I do that, Caitlin is going to put 2 eggs in the bottom of this bowl and stir them up. So it calls for 1 onion, so just a regular size onion. So we're going to cut the end off and the top off. And then that creates a flat surface. A flat surface is a safe surface. Then we're going to cut it in half, which forms another flat surface. So we're going to peel off the outer part of the skin, which may take the first layer of onion, which is fine, because oftentimes the first layer of onion is a little iffy anyway. So we're going to do that. And Caitlin's just gone to wash her hands because now they're full of egg, but she'll be back. And then we're going to chop this up nice and fine. We don't want big chunks of onion in here. And if you're not an onion lover, but you like the flavor of onion, go ahead and put in like a heaping teaspoon of onion powder or the dried onion flakes. But I really like the onion in here. So it's a flat surface. And remember, your hand needs to be like a claw. Not like this, because when you're cutting, you can cut your hand. So a claw, like that, holds on to the onion. But while I'm slicing, I put my knife underneath, but my fingers are nowhere near where the knife is, just to hold the onion together. And sometimes you get a little slice that comes out with the knife, and that's okay. So now remember before we talked about a train. So when a train is going, you can see the wheel going like that, right? Well, our train is backing up like this. This is an exaggerated movement, of course, but that's how you should be using your knife. Just like that. And your knife should be sharp, because a blunt knife is a dangerous knife. Okay.
Make sure you use some oven. You should buy oven gloves.
Yes, you can buy gloves, safety gloves for people who are not used to using a knife. And one day I will buy some and show it to you, but I don't have any here today. Okay, so this onion is going to go in here. Now we're going to switch to a whisk. Okay, and we're going to put in 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. You scooch over this way just a little bit. So 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. And I'll get that in a second. We're gonna put in, it calls for about a cup of grated cheese. I'd say there's probably more of a cup and a half here, but that's okay. We like our cheese, not a problem. Thank you very much, Barry. Yeah, that's for the mayonnaise.
Oh.
I didn't want to get it dirty, right? Because I don't want to put a dirty spoon in the mayonnaise. There we go. Now, it calls for 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. This isn't a recipe where you have to measure everything accurately. I'm just going to put in 2 heaping tablespoons. And that's that. So, there we go, Caitlin. You can stir that up. And now, I'm going to add just a kitchen teaspoon of oregano. There we go. Stir that up. Now I'm going to add maybe 1/3. This is garlic powder. If you don't like garlic, you can leave it out. This is probably about 1/2 a regular measuring teaspoon. But if you don't like garlic, like I said, leave it out. It's not a problem. I wouldn't necessarily put fresh garlic in here because it might overpower the dish. Okay, so we've got our garlic, we've got our oregano, we've got our cheese, we've got our cream of mushroom soup, we've got our eggs, and we've got our mayonnaise. So now I need to chop up the broccoli. Okay, Caitlin, that's great. Job well done. You can stop now. Thank you. Excuse me. So now we'll go back to our broccoli that made a bit of a mess. And I'm just going to take some out onto the cutting board and we'll chop it up. Easy peasy. It's still a bit warm, but it's certainly not hot. But it is cooked. It's no longer frozen. Okay. And how much you chop yours is completely up to you. And if you like more broccoli, you can add more broccoli. If you want to use fresh broccoli, you certainly can do that. Cook it and then chop it up. I've done that before. But just a note, if you're going to include the stalks, make sure you peel them first because the outside of the stalk can be, I don't know what the right word is, like stringy, I guess, and tough. So make sure you peel it just with like a carrot peeler or a potato peeler. And then chop it up, cook it and chop it up, so it's all good. So that's the first little bit. So you don't need to watch me do the rest. So when I get that done, we'll be right back. Okay, so all the broccoli's been chopped and Caitlin's been mixing it in very, very well, which is great. So now we just put it in the dish. And our dish is greased already. And the oven's preheated to 350. And it's going to be in the oven for about 40 minutes till it's nice and golden brown on top and nice and bubbly. There we go. There you are. So we're going to cover it in some breadcrumbs. But these breadcrumbs happen to be seasoned with a little bit of pecorino cheese. But if you have Parmesan cheese at home, you can always mix the breadcrumbs with some Parmesan cheese, which would be really, really good as well. Now, normally people would drizzle a bit of butter over here, or they would melt some butter and mix it in with the breadcrumbs before it goes in the oven. But we're just going to do a little bit of a healthier version. And we're just going to drizzle some olive oil over the top to help brown up our breadcrumbs. And that's it, Bob's your uncle. So we're going to put this in the oven for 40 minutes and then we'll be back. Look at that. I can still hear it sizzling. I know you can't hear it on the camera, but it's still sizzling. So, like I said before, if you want to make it into a full meal plus like a side salad, add a bunch of pre-cooked chicken. Could be rotisserie chicken, could be leftover turkey, could be whatever. But it's a really, really wonderful side dish to have with anything, really. Chicken, fish, pork, beef. Bob's your uncle. I hope you give it a go because it's delicious. Enjoy. Bye.